by applying a foundation that matches our skin tone. I'm using the RCMA palette. All products will be listed below. I buffed this in using a dense dome-shaped brush. Mine came from BH Cosmetics. Then using my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, I brighten and cover my under eyes, as well as brighten a few other places on my face, like the nose bridge and the Cupid's bow. That little chin there, and the unibrow. There we go. I also prime my lids with these for the eyeshadows. You can use a separate eye primer if you want. The concealer works fine for me. I actually buffed that out with the same brush. Obviously, I stabbed myself in the eye like 4 times. You can use a smaller brush if you'd prefer. I just powder that lightly with a translucent powder. I believe I used e.l.f. You can use any translucent powder. I just lightly set my under eyes as well as any areas that may crease, and a little bit on the eyelids before the eyeshadow. Taking a light taupe shade from my Morphe 350 palette, I just sketch in the shape of the eye. I'm looking at my eyes for reference. I want a tear duct on either side of the eye to make it look more like a center eye. Once I have the desired shape sketched in, I'm going to take my alcohol activated palette. These paints are activated with 99% alcohol. You can't make it work with any other alcohol. It has to be 99%. I just take some red shades with a lot of alcohol, so it's quite light and pink. I mix together a few different ones and I start coloring in the tear duct area of our third eye. Then I go in a little bit darker. I get some more shades, a little bit less alcohol, and a little bit more of the darker reds. And I go around the edges just to add some dimension to our tear duct areas. Once I was happy with that, I mixed up a brown shade. I just mix a bunch of different colors together, greens, browns, reds. Taking my Mayron Paradise paint in black, I filled in the pupil. My alcohol palette didn't have a black, so I used the water activated instead. taking more of the alcohol activated paints, I blend out the edge of the black pupil and then continue mixing colors to make the eye match my own. I mix some yellow and red into the iris just to add a bit of a gold shade and to make the brown pop. Our eyes have so many colors, so the more variation you add, the more realistic the eye is going to look. So keep that in mind when you're coloring your eye and it's taking forever. I use that black paint again to darken up the pupil. And I take that gently just around the outside edge, as our eyes typically have a dark ring around the very edge of the iris. Once I'm happy with the eye color, I go in with the white Mehron Paradise paint. I color in the eyeball, the whites of the eyeball. I go a little bit along the edge just to make it look wet, as that would be our waterline on the inside of your bottom eyelashes. I also add a couple of white specks to the tear ducts, as those usually have tears. And of course, using my own eyes as a reference, I draw in the large highlights from the lights bouncing off your moist eyeballs. I'm taking the same brush with no excess paint on it to just blend out the edge of the white. Then I'm also taking that just around the tear duct area to make it look raised up. If you look at your own, you'll be able to see this. This will just make it more three-dimensional. I take this along the top as well, where your eyelid is. And keep that just below the crease that you've drawn in. Now awkwardly stare at yourself while you match your three eyes together. Once I'm happy with the highlights, I go in with that taupe shade again to add some deeper shadows. I'm going right under the lash line where that crease is, and then I'm blending it ever so slightly around the tear duct area as well to make it pop out a bit more. Now I'm doing the same thing on the top. My upper crease is much deeper than the little crease on the bottom, so I'm going to try to make this quite dark, just in that crease area. Take a fluffy blending brush and just blend it out a bit. I slightly shade around the eyeballs as well. I'm going in with a bit of a darker shade to deepen up the crease and other areas. Our eyelids create a shadow onto our eyeball. So that's what I'm creating here. I'm just going right under the eyelid all the way across. I decided to move on to my eye makeup, and then we'll make our third eye match. So I'm starting out just filling in my eyebrows. I did live stream this makeup on my Twitch channel. I will link that down below if you want to hang out with us in real time. We have such an amazing community over there, and you should just check it out. Taking a warm orangey shade from my Morphe 350 palette, I just add in a transition shade all throughout the crease. Once I was happy with that, I took a really warm brown shade from the same Morphe 350 palette and put that a little bit lower in the crease. After that, I took a deep purple plum shade from the Morphe 35P palette, and I deepened up the crease with that shade. The darker you go with the colors, the more you want to concentrate that mostly into the crease so that you get that nice fade. Taking a black eye crayon, I used the Glow Skin Beauty in Pitch. You can use any black eye crayon, eye pencil, and I colored that all over my lid, as well as our lower lash line. On top of that, I took a black shade from the 35P palette, where I got the purple from. Pack that over top, and then you'll want to blend it out. All the steps that you've done on the top, do that on the lower lash line as well. And then I start trying to mimic the makeup onto our third eye. Because you don't have an actual crease there, this is going to take a bit more precision. You'll want to use smaller brushes and make it appear as if there is a crease. I'm going in with the same shades that I used on my eyes, building it up, blending it out until it looks like my eyes. I was so scared to do this. I thought I was going to ruin it, but I had to match my eyes. So I took black across the eyelid that we've put in and blend that out. And the tiniest bit on the bottom as well. Less is more. You always want to start with less. You can always build it up. Taking some more of that water-activated Mehron Paradise paint in black, I go just along the upper and lower lash line areas, and then I do a few flicks on the bottom for lower lashes. Precise part, draw in some lashes on the top as well. You could glue on some falsies. I did not have any false lashes, so I just painted them on. There you see me get scared because I made too long of a lash. I just took a Q-tip, wiped the tip away, and kept going. Here I'm just adding a few finishing touches to the eyeball, shading around the eyeball, mattifying the black pupil to make it darker, until I'm happy with it. And the eyeball is done. I'm just gonna finish my face here. For bronzer, I'm using the Bahama Mama by The Balm. I wanted quite a chiseled, dramatic look for this, so I'm packing on the bronzer, and then I'll add a cool tone contour on top of that as well. I will show you momentarily. I took that bronzer on the cheeks, across the forehead, and down the neck. Here I'm taking a darker, more cool-toned contour powder. This came from the Morphe contour palette, and I'm just deepening up the cheekbone area. For my lips, I used my Anastasia Beverly Hills lip palette. I used the dark plum shade all over, and I'll shade the corners with the black. I did like just the plum, but I wanted to vamp it up a bit with the black edges. And that is the final look, you guys. I got this hoodie from Hot Topic from the men's section, and I'm obsessed with it. It's so witchy. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the like button down below. Also, be sure and check out our Twitch channel. We're live there 3 days a week. See you guys next time. Bye! I'm a witch. You have a slight dab of makeup on your teeth. I sure do. Look at that. Thanks, babe. The queen witch herself. Stevie Nicks. I want it. Well, there are weird things. I have deja vu a lot, and I'm pretty certain I'm psychic. So